Hello, Internet! It's me, Holly, and as you can tell, another no makeup day, so you know what that means. We're gonna do a first impression. And today we are doing, obviously, a first impression for a foundation. This is the Revlon Color Stay 2-in-1 Compact Makeup and Concealer. So, there is a decent amount of shades for this, actually. I was pretty impressed with the shade selection because a lot of pressed compact makeup in the drugstores don't seem to have a lot of choices. You know, there's like 4 or 5 shades. This one's got like 8, 10, maybe even 12 shades. I'll post an exact number here. This one is a little pricey. This one I think is $15.99 at the drugstore. This is definitely one of the more pricier makeups now in the drugstore. Like, it's up there with some of the like higher end drugstore makeups. So for Revlon, I think this might be the priciest one they sell now. So that is something to bear in mind if you are more frugal even with the drugstore makeups. This one is definitely up there in price. But I got a really good deal on it because it was on sale and I had coupons and like, I don't know. I got a bunch of like different sales on top of sales with coupons. Anyways, so I wasn't sure how this was going to look in the package once we opened it because I assumed that there was just a little bit of makeup and this was the concealer, right? No, this is cool. This flips up. Do you see? So this whole thing in here is makeup, the whole roundy shape. And then this tiny little concealer lifts up. Like, I don't know why, but I thought that this was going to be all connected, and I was kind of disappointed. So the fact that it lifted, it made me super happy. Because I feel like you're not wasting any space and you're not getting less product. So the color I picked was Sand Beige, which is number 180. And the reason that I picked this shade, I was going to pick one a little lighter. They had a tester at Walgreens where I got this that was, like, I think a shade down from this. And I was going to get the lightest shade because you guys know I always go a little lighter because I like looking pale. It's just kind of personal preference. I mean, I don't do anything too light, but I always like to look like I always get a foundation. I would prefer my foundations to be lighter than my skin tone because I like to look a little lighter. So, but when I tried it on, it looked ghostly white. Like, I tanned on vacation and all this stuff, so when I tried the one that was, I think they had one that was either down from this or up from this, and I just realized that the one I was picking was going to be like really off. So I got the 180 Sand Beige, and I am praying that this one works. I think this is like the 3rd shade up, and I know I've said this before. I know L'Oreal is a one that was really good for the 3rd shade up typically working for me if it has a lot of shades, you know. I'm hoping that this one pans out as well. Now, Walgreens does have a 30-day return policy. If you can have open used makeup. If you try something and don't like it, 30 days with a receipt, you can bring it back. If you hate it, you can return it entirely. Or if you maybe like the consistency but the color's not right, you can bring it back and even exchange it for a different shade or whatever, you know. So I do like that about Walgreens, which is why you hear me talk about Walgreens a lot, because I really like their policies and I just like the store overall. So a couple other things before we get into this first impression demo. I was really excited. It's kind of a side note, but I deemed it worth mentioning. I am really excited for this makeup. When it did launch, it's been on my radar pretty much since I knew that it existed, and I gotta say, I love compact pressed makeups for a few reasons. A, I think it gives me a lot more coverage, and I am one of those girls who get splotchy and I need the extra coverage, and it's always been, from my experience personally, that these compact makeups always give me more coverage. They're usually like fuller, like considered more full foundation as far as coverage, so that always makes me happy. And it's been a long time since I've had a compact makeup, so I am really looking forward to giving this new one a whirl. And yeah, I hope that this pans out well. I haven't really used a lot of Revlon foundations, if I'm being honest, so I won't have a lot as far as other Revlon ones to compare this to. So I don't know going in, like I have no preset assumptions on how I think Revlon foundations are gonna wear, because I haven't really dabbled a lot with Revlon foundations, but I always hear really good things and people recommend them to me a lot. So on that, I'm hoping that this is really good. So let's get started. Let me bring you up a little closer to my face. We're back with my naked face. So this is how I look with no makeup on today. So my face isn't broken out too bad. For some reason this year, I need to knock on some wood after I just said that. My face hasn't been too bad this year, so I've been lucky. But yeah, as I always say in these first impression foundation videos, I always do the rest of my routine with the new foundation. I don't think it's fair to judge a foundation by itself without my primer, without my powder on top, without everything else that I would use with it, because I don't ever just wear foundation by itself. I typically, and I'm still pretty much using the same things I was the last time we did a first impression foundation. I have been using Lumine Bright Now Vitamin C BB Cream as a primer. Don't judge. I like a BB cream as a primer. It smooths everything, it covers all my bumps, my imperfections. It gives me a little bit of extra oomph. So I'm gonna go off camera and apply this, and I will be right back. And this is my face, just for reference, with my BB cream. I don't know if you guys see a difference, but I see a difference. So just gives me a little extra added oomph. It's got SPF in it, so it gives me a little extra protection. Very small side note, but I'm very upset about it. I went to Walgreens the other day and noticed that the Lumine BB cream was on clearance. And you guys know it's my favorite. So I have to do a little bit of research to see if and where I can still get it. And if they are phasing it out, I'm going to be buying it and stocking up like it's the apocalypse. You guys have makeup like that too. Let me know what your favorite makeup was that they discontinued and you had to stock up on it like it was the end of time. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, so this is my face after my BB cream primer. And now we're gonna get into the foundation. So let's get into it. It's funny, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, I see other girls putting on foundation on the internet and they look cute with their hair all pinned. I look like a crazy, wild person. Other people do it, they look graceful. I do it, I look like a homeless girl. Anyways, so let's get into this. I'm wondering, like, I know I forgot to mention this earlier, but I should have talked about this in the packaging. So the concealer lifts up, and then this lifts up, and then there's a tiny little applicator, not tiny, but there's a little section that has a mirror, and it has a black spongy applicator. So that's a thing. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try this concealer. I'm just going to be using a concealer brush. All of my good brushes are dirty. Hands up if you always have that problem too. But I have this one from a Disney Princess set, or Disney Villain set. I think it's Soho. I'm pretty sure the brand is Soho that made these brushes for the Villains. So I'm just going to go into the pot here and get a little bit. I normally don't do under eye concealer. We had this discussion in one of my previous videos. It's a little cakey as far as the texture. I mean, it's not a heavy concealer. So, but it's just, I feel like it's yeah, it's like a little like powdery cakey. Just a little. But the foundation consistency, the concealer consistency is so lightweight that you kind of can't tell that the formula is a little cakey. So I did a little bit of light. I didn't put a lot on, but here is under eye concealed, under eye not concealed. I didn't have much to do, but I hope you can see a difference, question mark, on camera. Let's do the other side. Yeah, I mean, well, you can make it heavier. Like, I know I said that it's... I'm gonna go up here a little too. Don't judge. I like to give the brow bone a little bit of... It's nice for that. It's a good... This concealer's a good highlight for up here at the brow bone. So, oh yeah, this has the potential to be heavier than... Yeah, it's a little chalky. Like, it's not a heavy concealer, but the consistency of it is a little chalky, cakey, if that makes sense. It's formulated a little chalky. Okay. But it's definitely workable, pliable, and I think it's going to be pretty well blendable too. I'm going to get a little sponge here. I'm just using just a little sponge just to kind of blend this out a little. I hear a lot of YouTubers complain that people will make fun of them for the way they put their under eye stuff on, saying that they're too hard on it. I have heavy hands, so I probably pat my under eyes way too hard. But yeah, so this is what we got going on under eye. It actually blended out pretty nice. I feel a little raccoon-eyed right now. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but I don't wear under eye makeup normally, so when it brightens it, I always feel a little uncomfortable because I'm not used to it. But this is what we got going on before foundation. It's a little chalky consistency, like I said, but overall I think it blended out really well, and I think it does a really nice job without being too, like, whoa, crazy. And you could build it to cover and fix a little more if you needed. So now I'm going to get into the foundation part. I almost always use a foundation brush, so doing this compact and this is a little awkward for me, so I apologize. Well, I just ruined the beautiful, clean packaging. Oh well. So let's go. Ooh, okay. Okay. Okay, at first I really did think that it was kind of like cakey, like the concealer. But once you rub it in enough, well, it's still a little chalky cakey. I don't know how I feel about it, you guys. The color does look really good on me, and I'm really glad that I picked this shade, it's gotta be said. And I always say in my videos, don't forget your neck, and don't forget your eyelids. Yeah, no, you guys, I gotta be honest, it's a little cakier than I would like it to be. The consistency. Yeah, you guys, like, I just don't. It looks like it does after I've already applied powder, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of the foundations that I use, even the matte ones, because I've been using a lot of mattes lately, are kind of creamy, they glide on, they look a little chalky, but after I've applied powder. This looks like how my face looks after powder, typically. So I don't know how this is gonna hold up with powder, if I'm being honest, because it already looks like I have powder on. So could you imagine powder on top of this? And I'm very oily skinned, so I have to wear powder. Like, I don't know, you guys. Oh, you guys, I don't know. I honestly don't think that it took me a lot more effort to get all the little red splotches covered too with this. Guys, I don't... Here's what it looks like. The color definitely is nice. I definitely like the color on this. What do you guys think? So that is foundation with my BB cream primer. Let me go put powder on off camera and I will be right back. So So I just finished putting on my powder, and I've been using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, as I've been using for the past like 6 months, a year. Here's what I look like. Here's the finished. Like I said, the color is really nice. What do you guys think? In person, this looks pretty chalky with the powder, but I still needed the powder. I feel like you can still see some redder areas, like my skin. Normally after I apply foundation, it's all over like one solid. It evens everything out. I don't feel like this evened everything out as well as I wanted. And I understand that you can build some of these, but I feel like I built it up enough that if I had built it up any more, it was already super chalky and cakey, and it would have looked just really bad if I had done it anymore. So I can just already feel like that it's gonna melt off my face in 5 minutes, even with the matte powder on top. So it's not the worst foundation I have ever used, but I'm not that impressed with it, if I'm being honest. Just the initial look of it is just not, like, even to touch it, it just, no, I'm really, no. So I'm gonna go out in the weather today. It is going to be about 70, 75 degrees out. So it's not the hottest day here. And I will kind of wear this, and I will check back in with you at maybe the middle of the day, end of the day too, and we'll just, you know, we'll do a wearability test on this too, because I'm really curious how this one wears down through the day. So we will do that as well. Okay, so I am back for an update. It has been about maybe like 5 hours, 5.5 hours. Sorry guys, I wish I could say that this foundation is awesome, but it's really not the best. So for starters, yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but my oil has come back pretty good, despite the fact that I have matte powder over top of this. Usually it's like, I can go probably 6 to 8 hours or more with a foundation before I start seeing a little bit of shine. But I had a little bit of shine coming within like the 3rd or 4th hour. So that's the first thing about it. It did actually become a little more, like, it became a little less chalky as I wore it, but it's still pretty chalky. And on top of that, you can see little fine lines here settling in the corners of my eyes. God, I hope that doesn't mean I'm getting crow's feet. But yeah, no, it's starting to like cake around. Now it is caking on my eyelids, but I won't judge that on that because that's actually normal. Most foundations do that for me, but it's still pretty cakey. It actually came off all around my nose ring. It's starting to get cakey in here. And just overall, I just really don't like the way this one looks. So if I'm being honest, it's not my favorite. So for this being, like, this cost, like, this is one of the higher end Revlon foundations. This is one of the most expensive foundations in the drugstore. It's up there with like the highest costing ones. Not what I expected for one of the higher priced foundations in the drugstore. Now, if you guys are interested, I can make a video with my favorite foundations from the drugstore if you're interested, and I have a lot of favorites and a lot of really good recommendations that most everybody could love and use. So if you would like that, please let me know in the comments, or if you want me to do a favorites on anything at all, just let me know and I can do that for you. But yeah, I have a lot of good recommendations for foundations, so I can definitely do that. I gotta say, for this one, does not get 2 thumbs up from me. This was kind of a letdown. So it might work for you, but it doesn't really work for me. And I feel bad saying that, but I like to be as honest as possible on this channel, and I would not purchase this one again. And that is everything that I wanted to talk about in this video today. What did you guys think of this foundation? Do you guys want to try it? Do you not want to try it? Have you tried it already? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know. And if you guys have any topics or products we should talk about or try, also please let me know, because I'm here to help you guys. And as always, if you guys like what I do and you like this channel, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It's always appreciated. Invite your friends. You can follow me over on Instagram, same way as spelled here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. I have a few first impression videos coming later. Have a good day, guys. Bye!